TVR Universe! Welcome to this week's live stream. Do not go anywhere, because tonight I will be sharing with you the easiest ways to transfer your data from your DV tapes, your old school camcorders, to your PC, and then later on in the video, stick around as I'll be going into a bit of history about how cool these cameras were. If that sounds awesome to you, stick around to bring some value. You're going to get value from this video. Now, if this is your first time here, or if it isn't, I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly content on the best cameras for YouTube, film gear, lighting, editing, audio, and so much more. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now, because why not? Right, let's get straight into the values. So basically, you're here to find out the easiest way to transfer your digital data from your old school cameras to your PC using Firewire. Now, it's very easy to do. Now, I'm assuming that most of you have an old school camcorder, or perhaps you haven't done it for a long time and you're thinking, I can't remember how to do it and all that jazz. It's very easy to do. Most camcorders tend to have a little connection on this particular JVC, which is actually my first camcorder. This bad boy was. There's an actual, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little connection there, and it's basically like a USB cable, but it isn't. And you basically plug it in there and you transfer it into the back of your PC. Now, for those of you nowadays, you may not have the right connection in the back of your computer, unless you've got an old computer, you know, get out your garage or out your attic. But if not, you may have to get a small adapter that fits perhaps USB to Firewire for it to fit, or slot in a Firewire card into your computer, which is easy enough to do. But basically, once you do that and you plug it from your computer or laptop to your camera, then the magic starts. You obviously turn on your camera, which I guess is pretty standard, and then you'll use your video editing software to connect your data. So basically, I used to use Adobe Premiere Elements to do this. A lot of video editing software still do this. If not, you might have to find a free version or something like that. I used to use Adobe Premiere Elements. Really good, a bit of software. And what's really cool about that, you would go into where it says capture video, click on DV tape, and quite often in those days we'd actually have a little picture of a camera similar to this, which was really cool. Back in the day, the good old days. Put in the comments below if you used to love watching your footage as you used to capture your video. It was just really cool. So basically what you then have to do is turn your camera on, put it onto play mode. Look how old this camera looks. Smash the like button if you're getting value. And then once from there, you would then press play, and it would press capture, and quite often if you press capture, it would auto do it anyway, and it will play all the footage of the tape onto your computer. And a little power tip there I would share with you is just make sure that perhaps you put onto the position of tape that you want to record from, or if you're just recording the whole tape, make sure you just wind it all the way to the beginning. That sounds really weird in this modern day. Smash the like button if you're getting value. But that's just what we used to have to do, or for those of you that want to do this now, that's what you have to do. And so from there, you would watch all the footage as it's capturing. They used to just call it capturing it. And then you'd watch it for 5-10 minutes, however long it is. You sit there. And quite often, I used to take notes, actually. Little power tip, I used to take notes of what footage I might use for different scenes and stuff like that. I used to use these sort of cameras for making films back in the day, starting from college into after college, and right up to a few years ago when obviously it became more sort of HD and all the rest of it. But really cool, actually, what you can actually do using something called I think it's a capture dongle. So I've been Dumbledore the term, but you can actually, with some AV cables, connect to an adapter from a VHS player connected to one of these tapes, and you can actually capture your VHS footage to your tape or back again, as long as the camera has the right footage. It has to have capture in and out to do that, but if that's obviously not what you want here. But that's basically how you record your footage from your camera. So you would have to capture it using the Firewire. And you're probably thinking, for those of you that are more modern, or for those of you that don't know otherwise, or perhaps you do, originally I used to use a USB cable, really old school USB 2, or if not USB 1. And you can do that. So if you don't have a Firewire, it's not the end of the world. You can just plug in a USB cable. Make sure it's an old one. It'll have to be USB 2. Get one of those from the sites like eBay and stuff like that. Because you probably won't be able to get an old school USB cable that will be compatible with these sort of cameras. And you can capture in the same way, but I found, I'm not really sure why, but because USBs do bolts of information, or at least the early ones did, it would sometimes make the footage a bit shuddery, or it would make it a bit stuttery and that sort of jazz, and that's not what you want from your video, so sort of bear that in mind. So Firewire is key, and I would highly recommend getting a Firewire from somewhere like eBay and stuff like that. So let's sing the little Firewire song. Firewire with firewiriness. That's a song I used to sing back in the day as I was capturing a video, don't ask. But basically that is how you capture video using Firewire to your PC. You're going to get value from this video. So if you've got any questions, don't go anywhere, because we're going to talk about how awesome these cameras were and just go into a bit of detail about this JVC camcorder, just camcorders and DV tapes in general. If you've got any questions about transferring, capturing data using a DV tape, God, that seems so old school now, but I just thought this would be really cool. For those of you that are still here, for those of you that are core viewers, I wanted to mix up a bit, do something a bit different. And basically, this is my first actual camera. I actually had an i8 camera, which was before DV tapes, which was actually just borrowed off my dad. But this was the actual first camera I had. It's a DV tape digital camera, 16 times zoom, very heavy compared to modern stuff, but at the same time not overly heavy. And obviously back in college days we used to have big camcorders which are also DV tapes, and I used to have hundreds of DV tapes. Put in the comments below if you used to use DV tapes. I used to love my DV tapes. I used to have a whole box full of them, and the first thing I edited actually was a play for college, I believe, or the first proper thing, and I had to sort of go watch each one, work out what was the best angle. It was like making a film, and I thought, I really like doing this, and I did a bit of video before that and stuff, and then I got into making my own films, and I used one of these, and I got a slightly newer one that I made quite a few films with after this. But this was like really early YouTube, making early videos, spending hours capturing video through DV tapes, watching little thing. I used to love, it probably won't do it now because it's got no battery in, but what would happen is it would open up and it would be like, and it'd be like, I don't know, something off a transformer. Yeah, I don't know, it was just much more mechanical, much more fun. I sort of look, why I don't do it now, obviously the quality is far, it would seem rubbish now if I was recording this. You had the humming noise from the tape going around, unless you got one of these with an external microphone, which I never did. But it does have a nice little internal mic, a little light, and I think it has some sort of night mode, which was quite handy, or another one did, which was really good for doing ghost videos and stuff like that. Hey, Binge Weather Gaming, welcome to the live stream. If you're getting value, smash the like button. If you're new here, why haven't you subscribed yet? Absolute value. Now, I used to like these. The tripod that I'm using this camera on, it was my first tripod that this would have probably sat on. It would go like that. You do recording. You used to rewind the tape, all this sort of jazz. Just reminiscing of thinking back to all those times. And the battery seemed to last a while. I think you could take photos on this, but I wouldn't recommend it even back then. But it was a really cool little video. And once I got two, it was quite cool, useful for doing different camera shots. Would I bother buying one of these now? Being brutally honest, probably not. Unless I would probably get one of these off eBay or something if I didn't already have one, and for some reason I had old DV tapes I wanted to capture the footage, or something like that, or maybe for a bit of retro or something like that. But personally, if you're doing YouTube videos or filmmaking, please don't don't waste your money on one of these. Or if you got one of these laying about, just use your phone. It's far easier. But I don't know, just the comparisons. Like nowadays, we obviously use little SD cards, which hold way more video, you know, hours and hours of video and photos. Well, I seem to remember it was only about an hour on a DV tape, which was, you know, it was pretty, well, it was pretty short, wasn't it? It was pretty short. But, you know, that was all that sort of jazz. And that was pretty cool. But no, I used to love using these. So, you know, put in the comments below if you used to use one of these cameras or a Hi8 or DV tape and what you used to think to these sort of cameras. I'd love to start some conversations. Feel free to do so over the weekend. And I hope you got some value. You've learned something. But honestly, if you got any more questions, you're probably thinking, well, there's not more to learn. Honestly, it was really basic. You just connected a Firewire with fiery wiriness from your camcorder to your PC. It really wasn't rocket science, and once you do it a few times you'll be like, oh, this is easy. The only thing that was a bit of an effort is you had to physically watch all the footage and then obviously watch it again when you're editing, so modern times have cut all that out, but that's basically what you should do with it. So there we go, back into the timer box it goes. So if you like to support the channel, check out our merch with t-shirts and mugs. You can see it on the bottom of the bottom of the lens. Value. Or if you just want to support the channel, check out our content, watch our videos, subscribe to the channel, like our videos, put comments in the comments below, start conversations, share these videos, and you know what? Have an absolute great weekend, because I'm Dave from TVR Creators and I make weekly content about cameras, audio, lighting, editing, and so much more. If that sounds interesting to you, subscribe now. Have a great day. And you know what? You guys rock.